The council chamber of the Zephyrian High Command fell silent as Marcus Chen entered, his footsteps echoing against the crystalline walls. Every eye, all 6 of them on each of the 12 council members, fixed upon the human who should have been dead 3 cycles ago. Commander Velthar's mandibles clicked in what Marcus had learned was the Zephyrian equivalent of grinding teeth. The alien's iridescent carapace shifted from deep purple to an agitated orange as he beheld the sight before him. Marcus wore the skull of a void stalker as a helmet, its obsidian surface gleaming under the chamber's bioluminescent lighting. The creature's vertebrae formed a protective spine down his back, while its razor-sharp ribs had been fashioned into arm guards. Most shocking of all, the beast's legendary hide, said to be impervious to plasma fire, now served as his cloak. "Impossible," Velthar hissed, his translator struggling with the alien's emotional undertones. "The Void Stalker of Kepler 442b has claimed the lives of our greatest warriors for 3 generations. No single being has ever—" "By the ancient laws," interrupted Elder Sithara, her voice cutting through the chamber like a blade. "He who slays the great beast and returns wearing its bones may claim—" She paused, her own carapace paling to an almost translucent white. "May claim leadership of the war host." The other council members began chittering among themselves, a sound like rainfall on metal that Marcus had come to recognize as distressed conversation. He remained motionless, letting the weight of tradition settle over the room like a heavy blanket. 3 cycles ago, Velthar had sent Marcus on what everyone knew was a suicide mission. The human had been part of a joint operation, Earth's first formal military alliance with an alien species. But Marcus had quickly learned that not all of humanity's new allies viewed them as equals. "Humans are soft," Velthar had declared during the mission briefing. "Their bones are weak, their hide thin. They have no natural weapons, no armor plating, no enhanced sensory organs. They are liability, not asset." The Void Stalker mission had been Velthar's elegant solution. Send the human to face an impossible enemy, and when he inevitably died, blame it on human frailty. The alliance would continue, but Earth species would know their place in the galactic hierarchy. Marcus had understood the game perfectly, which is why he'd spent his time on the transport ship not sleeping or praying, but studying. He'd analyzed every recorded encounter with a Void Stalker, cross-referenced their hunting patterns with Earth's apex predators, and formulated a plan that would have made his ancestors proud. "You want to know how I killed it?" Marcus spoke for the first time since entering the chamber, his voice calm and measured. The chittering stopped immediately. Velthar's translator crackled. "Speak, human." Marcus reached up and removed the skull helmet, revealing his scarred but very much alive face. "I didn't fight it like a Zephyrian would. I didn't charge in with plasma cannons blazing or try to match its strength with strength." He set the skull on the central podium. It's empty, sockets seeming to stare at the council members. "I studied it. For 2 days, I tracked it through the sulfur canyons of Kepler 442b. I learned its habits, its feeding times, its preferred hunting grounds. Then I prepared a trap." Elder Sathara leaned forward, her ancient eyes gleaming with interest. "What manner of trap could fell such a creature?" "The oldest kind," Marcus replied with a slight smile. "I dug a pit, 20 feet deep, lined with the planet's natural obsidian formations. But that wasn't enough to kill it. Void Stalkers can leap tremendous distances." He paused, noting how even Velthar was listening intently now. "So, I added fire. Lots of fire. See, I'd noticed something in the old records that everyone else missed. Void Stalkers have incredible armor, yes, but they're also methane breathers, and when methane meets oxygen in the presence of an ignition source..." The implication hung in the air like smoke. "You turned the creature's own biology against it," Scythera whispered. "Humans excel at one thing above all others: Marcus said, his voice gaining strength. We adapt. We don't need natural weapons because we make better ones. We don't need armor plating because we're smart enough not to get hit. And we don't need enhanced senses because we use our minds to see what others miss. Commander Velthar's carapace had shifted to a deep, embarrassed blue. The ancient laws they are sacred tradition. If you have truly slain the great beast, then by those same laws, I now outrank you, Marcus finished. And my first order as war host leader is simple. Stop underestimating humans. We didn't claw our way to the top of Earth's food chain by being the strongest or the fastest. We did it by being the smartest. He picked up the skull and placed it back on his head, the bone crown of his impossible victory. Now, let's plan a real war strategy, one that uses every species' strengths instead of dismissing them as weaknesses. As the council members began to bow their heads in acknowledgement of their new leader, Marcus allowed himself a small smile. Velthar had been right about one thing. Humans were different from other species. They just hadn't realized how dangerous that difference could be. The human had returned wearing the beast's bones, and by tradition, everything had changed.